Hey guys, I'm Conrad, your host on Mondays. I'm also the fellow who made the announcement video, and that slide you saw last week. This week, we here at the KNYT Project are going to talk about our favorite things. You know, movies, books, TV shows, the usual stuff. So, I suppose I'll get right into it. For my favorite movie, off of the top of my head, I'd have to say Night at the Opera, one of my favorite Marx Brothers movies. And for TV shows, well, recently I've been watching a lot of Doctor Who, which of course is great. But my absolute favorite would have to be either Jeeves and Wooster or Blackadder. As you can probably tell by my choice of television shows, my favorite actor is Stephen Fry. His role as Jeeves from Jeeves and Wooster had a huge impact on me, and quickly became one of my role models. Favorite book? Well, my favorite author has to be Terry Pratchett, and my favorite book, which of course is written by him, is The Last Continent. I'm a big fan of all of his Discworld novels, really. As for YouTube channels, not counting the Vlogbrothers, my favorite channel here on YouTube is either Wheezy Waiter or Tobuscus. I really have difficulty choosing between the two. My favorite website, besides YouTube, would probably have to be mspaintadventures.com, home of brilliant webcomics such as Homestuck and Problem Sleuth. Now, this next question is probably the most difficult decision I've ever faced. The topic of games. So, I'm going to split it into 3 parts. Firstly, my favorite computer game. At the moment, it is most definitely Minecraft. Of course, that goes without saying. As for my favorite console game, the first one that comes to mind is Super Mario World for the SNES. But I love most of Nintendo's flagship games from the SNES and Nintendo 64 eras. Finally, handheld games. I think that the Pokemon franchise is a pretty safe claim in this category, specifically Pokemon Silver, all the way back on the Game Boy Color. Music. Well, my favorite music label is What Pumpkin, a record label that represents the musicians who compose for mspaintadventures.com. Most notable for their work on the Homestuck albums. Choosing my favorite track is significantly more difficult, so I'll just go with 3 in the Morning, from a Homestuck album called Drawing Dead, which sounds a bit like this. Sports. Now, I don't really like watching sports, but there are a few that I enjoy participating in. My favorite is fencing, which I've been learning for the past couple of years. When it comes to board games, I'm going to have to be unoriginal and say my favorite one is chess. That's it, plain and simple. Favorite animals. Again, I'm just going to be boring and say dogs are my favorite animal. But I'll give special points to the male Antichinus, a mouse like marsupial, which is capable of 12 straight hours of sexual engagement before dying of exhaustion. Favorite object. This is undoubtedly my laptop, which I've been constantly using for pretty much everything. At the moment, I have Ubuntu 10.04 installed on it, and I've really enjoyed using it. Favorite place. Well, I've grown up in Seattle, Washington, and I've grown quite attached to it, so I'm just going to go with that. Well, that's it for now. I'll be back next week, hopefully with a video sorted out this time. Also, since the rules never stipulated which time zone we were updating by, this is not technically missing my day yet, since it is still Monday in Honolulu.